got a call. Open the bag.
On what grounds? I want to know who made that call.
Why do you people always have to make this difficult?
What did you just say?
I said open the bag.
You have absolutely no idea who you are talking to.
Two county sheriffs stopped a black woman outside a grocery store on a Saturday afternoon. She was in full military uniform. Her young son stood at her side. She had just paid for everything in her bags. The sheriffs told her they had received a call and needed to search her groceries right there on the pavement in front of whoever was watching. What they did not know was that she had served 18 years in the United States Army. That she had completed 3 overseas deployments. That she had been awarded the Bronze Star for her service. And that before the week was out, what they did in that parking lot would follow them for the rest of their careers. If you are ready to see institutional racism taken down, like this video and drop a comment telling me where you are watching from. And if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button right now because you will not want to miss tomorrow's story of people messing with the wrong ones and finding out. Let me know if you enjoyed the story. Let's continue. The automatic doors slid shut behind her. Sergeant First Class Danielle Mercer stepped out into the late afternoon sun wearing her Army service uniform, the dark green jacket, the brass buttons, the rank insignia on her collar, the rows of ribbons above her left breast pocket. Her son Marcus, age 10, walked beside her, one hand looped through the handle of a grocery bag. The car was 30 feet away. She had taken 4 steps when she heard it. Not a shout, not an alarm, the measured, deliberate voice of someone who has already made a decision before the mouth opens. "Ma'am. Right there. Stop where you are." 2 men in county sheriff uniforms were moving toward her from the left side of the entrance. Their patrol car was parked at an angle inconsistent with passing through. Deputy Harlan reached her first. He told her he had reason to believe she had left the store with merchandise she had not paid for. Danielle stopped walking. She shifted the grocery bag into her left hand and placed her right hand on Marcus's shoulder, drawing him beside her. The boy looked up at the deputies, then looked at his mother. He was 10 years old. He read the situation the way children do when something is wrong but no one has said so yet. Deputy Crane moved to Danielle's right. The 2 men formed a loose bracket around her and her son, not aggressive, but positioned. The concrete apron in front of the store was wide and open. Visible from the parking lot. Visible through the floor-to-ceiling glass to anyone still inside. A woman 3 rows back had stopped pushing her cart. A man coming out through the automatic doors read the scene and slowed. Crane told her this was routine. He asked her to open the bags for inspection. Danielle asked who had authorized the search. She asked what the legal basis was. Harlan told her they had received a call. When she did not move, he said it again. "We received a call." She looked at him. Then she set the grocery bag down on the concrete, upright, careful. She straightened, and without reaching into a pocket or making any sudden movement, she held out her military ID at chest height, steady, angled so both men could read it without moving closer. She gave them time. She did not speak while they read. The card identified her as Sergeant First Class Danielle Renee Mercer, United States Army, with a photo that matched the woman standing in front of them in full-dress uniform. Below the photo, her rank, her branch, her service number. Above it, the eagle seal of the Department of Defense. Harlan looked at it for longer than necessary. His weight shifted back. His jaw closed. His eyes moved from the ID to Crane, then back to the ID. Crane said nothing. Whatever he had expected to find at the end of this stop, it was not this. Danielle told them her name. She told them she was an active-duty soldier returning from a family errand. She told them she had purchased every item currently in those bags and had the receipt. She asked them clearly, and for the record, what the call had described. She asked them for their badge numbers. The woman with the cart had not moved. 2 store employees had appeared behind the glass inside. Marcus stood completely still at his mother's side, watching. Crane spoke. "He got her rank right, Sergeant." The rest of the sentence undid it. Regardless of her position, he said, a call had been logged with the department. Procedure required them to complete the inquiry. He was asking her respectfully to allow them to check the contents of the bags. The man in the parking lot said something to the woman beside him. She took out her phone. Danielle looked at Crane. She looked at Harlan. She looked down at Marcus, who was standing completely still with an expression that had no name at 10 years old, but would have one later. Then she looked back at both men. Fine, she told them. I'll show you what I purchased. And when I'm done, I'm going to ask you one question. I need you to think carefully before you answer. She crouched and began removing items from the bag, setting them one at a time on the low concrete ledge along the storefront wall. A box of cereal. 2 cans of soup. A loaf of bread. A carton of orange juice. A bag of apples. And last, a small wrapped package at the bottom, a birthday card tucked beside it. A toy car still in its box, chosen from the shelf by a boy who had pointed at it and said nothing, just looked at his mother. She set the toy on the ledge. She stood up. She placed the empty bag to one side. She looked at both officers and said nothing. The toy car sat on the concrete between them. Neither man spoke. A box of cereal. 2 cans of soup. A loaf of bread. A carton of orange juice. A bag of apples. A birthday card. A toy car in its original packaging, chosen by a 10-year-old boy who was standing 4 feet away watching 2 armed men decide whether his mother needed to justify herself on a public pavement. Danielle told them she had purchased every item at the register, far right checkout lane. She produced the receipt without being asked, unfolded it, and held it toward Harlan. She told him her son's birthday was tomorrow. That this was the last errand before dinner. That she was still standing on this pavement. Do you have what you need? Harlan looked at the ledge. Something had gone out of his posture. Not guilt yet, but the deflation of a man who has realized the ground has changed and has not yet decided what to do about it. He did not speak. Crane did. He told her without meeting her eyes that the call they received had described a suspect. He did not say how. He said the call was credible. He said protocol did not allow for exceptions when a complaint had been formally logged. He said he regretted any inconvenience. He asked if she had the receipt. She held it toward him. He took it. He read it. He held it slightly longer than reading required, then handed it back. Danielle folded it and returned it to the bag. Then she asked the question. No elevation in her voice. No performance. 1 word at a time in the order they needed to come. Who made the call? What did they report? And what was the description of the suspect they gave you? Crane looked at Harlan. Harlan was looking at the ledge. Neither man answered. She asked again. Same words. Same pace. Harlan and Crane had the receipt. They had seen the military ID. They knew exactly who was standing in front of them, and they still hadn't answered a single question she asked. What do you think happened next? Did they come clean, or did they stay silent and hope she'd let it go? Drop C for came clean, or S for stayed silent, in the comments. And if this story needs to be seen, share it right now. Someone you know has been waiting for this one. The automatic doors opened. A man in his mid-40s stepped out, company vest, name lanyard, clipboard at his side. He had been at the edge of the glass for several minutes. Long enough to understand what was unfolding. Long enough to weigh what it would cost him to stay inside. He had made his calculation. He stopped a few feet from the group. He looked at the items on the ledge. He looked at Danielle. He looked at the 2 deputies. Then he spoke to Danielle directly. I'm the one who called it in. Danielle turned to face him and asked what he had reported. The manager put the clipboard under his arm. He told her a backpack had been taken from the electronics section approximately 50 minutes before she arrived at the store. He had called it in and described the suspect to the dispatcher as a white male, approximately 40 years old, wearing a blue jacket and a baseball cap, last seen near the self-checkout area. Then he said he wanted it clearly understood. He had not described a black woman. He had not described a woman at all. He had not described anyone in military uniform. He had not described anyone with a child. The only time race was mentioned in his call was to say the suspect was white. "I'm sorry this happened outside my store," he said. The woman with the phone 2 rows back had stopped moving entirely. Danielle turned back to Harlan and Crane. She said nothing for 4 seconds. Not for effect. Because 4 seconds of silence between a uniformed soldier and 2 sheriff's deputies on a public pavement, with witnesses present and a phone recording in progress, is not atmosphere. It is record. Then she began placing the items back into the bag, one at a time. No urgency. Cereal first. Soup. Bread. Juice. Apples. The birthday card. While she did this, she spoke. Level. No heat in the voice. The tone she used when reading findings into a formal after-action report. The call was real. The manager made it. The description was specific: white male, blue jacket, baseball cap, electronics section. I am a black woman in army uniform with 1 child. No part of that description matched me. No part of that call authorized this stop. She placed the toy car in last. Then she told them what that meant. The call gave you a suspect. You chose a different one. I'd like you to think carefully. She used those exact words. About why. This was not a threat. It was not a reprimand. It was a question left open in the air of a public parking lot, in front of 11 witnesses, 5 of whom were still recording. Crane's mouth opened. It closed without a word. Harlan took 1 step back, not deliberate, not a retreat, just what the body does when it absorbs something it was not prepared for. The manager had not moved from his position near the doors. Danielle picked up both bags. She looked at Marcus. He had watched all of it, the ID, the ledge, the receipt, the question asked twice, the manager walking out. Every word his mother had spoken in the same voice, at the same register, without once raising it. He had watched a woman be accused, identify herself, be accused again, and then take apart the accusation item by item using nothing but precision and patience. He was 10 years old. He would not forget a single moment of it. The parking lot did not empty quickly. People stayed, not gathered in a crowd, but present in the way people remain when they have witnessed something and feel, without articulating it, that their presence still counts. Danielle moved Marcus to the car. The toy car went on his lap. She walked back toward the entrance and made 1 call. Not to the sheriff's department. She had no jurisdiction over Harlan and Crane. They answered to their own chain of command, their own elected sheriff. What she had was a military ID, a store manager who had voluntarily given a statement, 9 witnesses, and 18 years of experience in how accountability works. She called the county's Independent Civilian Review Board, the oversight body with jurisdiction over the sheriff's office, and gave them what they needed in under 2 minutes. Incident time. Location. The deputies' badge numbers. A summary of events. The name of the store manager as a cooperative witness. The existence of body camera footage that needed to be preserved before end of business. Phone footage from at least 4 members of the public. She ended the call. Harlan and Crane were at the far edge of the lot. A senior deputy from their own department had arrived, summoned by their dispatch, not by Danielle, and was now taking their account. He was writing in a notepad. He was not making eye contact with either man. Their words were being recorded by someone who would have to pass them up a chain of command that now knew exactly who they had stopped on that pavement. An incident report was filed that evening. The county legal office had a copy the following morning. A local news station submitted a media inquiry to the sheriff's department within 72 hours. A reporter reached the store manager directly on the 2nd day. He gave a statement voluntarily. He did not walk it back. On the 5th day, a civil rights attorney filed notice of intent to pursue legal action. The lawsuit named Harlan and Crane individually. It also named the county sheriff's department as an institution, on the grounds that the stop was not an isolated misjudgment, but a foreseeable outcome of inadequately supervised conduct. The evidence was not complicated, and it was not thin. The original dispatch recording contained a description: white male, blue jacket, baseball cap, that was inconsistent with Danielle Mercer or her son in every particular. Crane's body camera had recorded the encounter from the moment they moved toward her through to the moment she walked to her car. 9 signed witness statements corroborated what the footage showed. 5 of those witnesses had independent recordings. The sheriff's department placed both deputies on unpaid administrative leave within 8 days. Their union representative requested a viewing of the body camera footage before advising them on next steps. He viewed it. The meeting that followed lasted less than 25 minutes. He told them their position was not one he could take to a hearing. The case did not go to trial. 12 weeks after the incident, a settlement was finalized. The sheriff's department, on behalf of the county, agreed to pay Sergeant First Class Danielle Mercer $210,000 in damages. Institutional liability was not formally admitted. That language was negotiated out, but the protection of non-admission was explicitly not extended to Harlan and Crane as individuals. Each man was found personally liable for civil rights violations under federal statute. Harlan was ordered to pay $25,000. Crane, whose decision to continue the search demand after Danielle produced her military identification made his conduct the more deliberate of the two, was ordered to pay $42,000. Both men were formally separated from the sheriff's department on the same morning. Their commissions were revoked. Their badges were surrendered in the same building, processed by the same administrative officer, within the same hour. The officer did not look up from the paperwork. Danielle was not in the building. She was at Fort Hamilton, conducting a leadership development session for junior enlisted soldiers. The session ran 2 hours. The attending soldiers rated it among the most practical training they had received in their current cycle. She did not mention the parking lot, not once. She did not need to. She had arrived home at 7:38 on the evening of the incident. Still in uniform. The grocery bag went on the kitchen counter. She unpacked it in order: cereal, soup, bread, juice, apples, birthday card. The toy car she set on the counter separately, apart from the other items. Marcus came into the kitchen. He asked if she was okay. She told him yes. She told him to wash his hands. She told him to set the table. He did all 3 without saying anything else. But before he left the kitchen, he stopped in the doorway and looked at her for a moment. "You didn't yell," he said. "No," she told him. "Why not?" She thought about it for exactly as long as the question deserved. "Because I didn't have to," she said. The truth was enough. He nodded slowly, the way children do when they have received an answer they will spend years understanding. They made dinner together. Afterward, she set the toy car on the table beside his plate, still in its box, wrapped in a piece of paper he had to tear himself. He looked at it for a moment before he opened it. Then he smiled, the full, uncomplicated smile of a child who has no idea what it costs to bring that gift home, and does not need to. Danielle watched him from across the table. The birthday candles burned. That was enough. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next story. Share this video with someone who would appreciate it, and let's keep building this community together. And before you go, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what stood out to you the most. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.